if all theists thought like you and no wider or more destructive than you, there'd be no problem at all. We could pack up and go home now. I'm really serious. You said that beautififully.
Then the problem isn't religion, it's unsophisticated religion.
No, it's not even that. It's destructive behavior motivated by religion.
But what is your solution? You're saying, well, if we just stop believing in all religion, we'll destroy...
No. I'm saying understand where religion, the idea of a primal cause of an intelligent design, comes from, and don't take that literally in terms of an instruction or a moral code that would lead you to destructive acts. That's what I'm saying.
Well, then what you need is a sort of comprehensive inhibition against violence.
Correct. Yeah.
Which would be broader than inhibition against religion.
Of fear. I think you need a recession of fear. People, I find that the more fervent the hate mail I get is, the more fearful it's just a reflection of fear. And I end up feeling, and they're telling me that I'm going to be really sorry that I'm nothing when I meet my maker, and all these threats, which actually don't mean that much to me because I don't believe in hell and I don't believe in sin and I don't believe in God. So, but it's just so fearful and hateful, and I always write back the same thing, which is that's not very Christian of you.
We're over here, people. We got less than 4 minutes to go. Going to try and sneak a couple of more questions in. Yes, sir.
Yes, I just want to make a question for all the panel. The older I get, the more I become an atheist. That's different than I was told when I was young, because I was told that when I got older, I'd go to synagogue or church because I was getting close to the end. Isn't religion really just a method of power for individuals, for nations?
Okay, Michael Higgins, you're on.
I thought we'd go to the youngest man here first. I think that that's a good question, actually, for several reasons. One, because it breaks down some of the caricatures that we usually have. As you get older and more infirm, you depend more and more on religious faith because you may be facing eternity, right? And the fact is that very often these are just stereotypes. Life is much more complex than that, and the process is much more difficult. And more sophisticated. The big issue that you're talking about here about religion as a crutch or faith as a crutch seems to me to point directly to some of the issues about the deficiency of religion that our other three panelists have been speaking about, with which I completely concur. When you address the ugly side of religion, well, in a way, it doesn't get more ugly. But when you look and try to define religion in terms that I think that are more comprehensive, more holistic, that make really fine distinctions between faith and creed and dogma and ritual and mysticism, and you begin to see the much more variegated and complex ways in which people come to know and understand. For me, the primary mode of access to understanding things religiously is through the heart and the imagination. It's not through a detailed analysis of a particular clause in the Nicene Creed, though I also have training as a theologian. It is fundamentally through the other. It seems to me that one of the great works of the Catholic theologian Hans von Balthasar, who died not too many years ago, was his realization that aesthetics, art, is the primary foundation for access or experience of the divine. I think, and I'm being rather simplistic here, but I think that really addresses some of the issues at heart about faith.
Let me say one more.
Art is illusion that knows itself to be illusion, whereas religion is delusion.
No, it's sacred illusion.
Okay, one more back here. Let's get one more quick, Edmund, please.
I'm just curious, actually, as a question to sort of wrap up the discussion, as a general question for the panelists. We've touched briefly on a number of isms over the course of the discussion: nothingism, atheism, naturalism, humanism. Where do we go from here? I mean, we've had a great discussion. We're all of...
We didn't get to environmentalism, which is one of the great religions today as well.
These days, absolutely, greenism. We've had a great discussion. We're obviously a room full of fairly well-educated people. How do we take this forward and move sort of out into the general public and get people to have more of a reasoned discussion amongst each other?
Okay, Jordan Peterson, where to now?
Well, I think there's one answer to that we could all agree on, which is that everyone should strive to learn more. Yeah, I mean, I'm a scientist, I'm a neuroscientist, and science is a wonderful thing, and I'm reasonably knowledgeable about religion, and that's been of great utility to me. And I think that regardless of your stance on religion and how you define it, ignorance is certainly something that everyone can strive to overcome. and cruelty as well. So
the message is be less cruel and go out and be nicer.
no, go out and be less ignorant.
Less ignorant.
Less ignorant
But I think
and less
that-
ugly.
And respectful.
Last word to our friend from the States.
Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Am I closing on you? I'm over here. Okay. That's our time.